Hey, I'm doing a review on my Riedell 3200s about 8 months after I started wearing them. I ordered these from skaterats.com because they were having a sale. I had been looking for 3200s for a while and shopping around and even on eBay for used 3200s, but I was never finding my size. I ordered these Halloween of 2023 and I received them around early January of 2024. These are the white vegan boots. When you get a vegan boot, you only have the choice of white or black, so it's all white. I also got the inside, there's like a choice between gray microfiber lining and something else, so I got that. That does get dingy very quickly because of the color and stuff. Came with the white laces. Yeah, basically everything's white. Arius Plate. I had to get spacers for my axles because I was mostly wearing radar crush wheels at the time and somebody had told me I would need spacers. So there are 2 spacers on each axle on each side. I now wear the yellow cushion, greenish yellow cushions. I started out with a mixture, I think, of the red and the teal. I tried different versions, like I tried all red. I think they came with the white ones in or something, and it was way too squishy at first for me. So I progressively got softer, and I've been in these yellow-green ones for a bit of time now. I still have the white ones that I probably might eventually move toward. I sold some of the other ones because who doesn't need money, and I didn't really need them. This is the jam plug that came with it, which is way too thick for me. I wasn't skating with a plug at all before, so even this one is actually gets caught sometimes. I just got this at the local skate shop. It was just the littlest one that they had, and I only recently started doing jam plug stuff at all because I hadn't had one for so long. What else can I say? They're very firm. I really noticed the difference when I started skating because my last ones, although they weren't like lollies, they weren't super bendy, but they had some support. But what I noticed right away was that it felt like I couldn't feel the outside world at all. Like they were very insulated from everything. But I really felt like that was a very fast adaptation to the firmness. I do find sometimes that there's some pressure point here that can weirdly dig into the side of my ankle and make some sort of feeling that goes up the nerve of my right side of my leg that feels strange. It gives like a nervy, like you hit a nerve or something kind of feeling. So I really can only lace up to this one. I didn't get a lace bar. I haven't really found that I've needed it much. This is a size 5.5. I did try on a friend's 5.5 first, so I thought they would be okay. I do find that I think they're a bit too big. I don't know if I could go down to a 5. I talked back and forth with Skaterats, and then they helped me talk to Riedell. I don't know, just based on the measurements, if there's enough room, but I do have too much space behind my heel. It was too narrow for me. All the shoes that I wear have a wider toe box. I don't have like a hugely wide foot, but I think most shoes are made too narrow for real human feet. So I've had to stretch these a few times with like a shoe stretcher I got on Amazon. These are a D width, which comes standard. I think an E width would have been better for me, and a shorter boot. So I think a 5 and an E width probably would have been better. So I do have to continue to wear thicker socks. I do think I slide around a little bit, which isn't great for skating. You want it as snug as you can get it. But I think that if I would have gone any smaller without the width, I would have just crushed my toes. And I've been getting corns and stuff, which I've never had before, in between my toes because the width isn't right. You know, it's like it might be wide here, but if it starts like a point, that's really not how a human foot is formed, you know? So I was wearing crush wheels. I'll do another wheel review, but I was wearing crush wheels for a long time. Then I moved to the Vanathanes. I might be repeating myself. Things haven't really changed that much. They've stayed a little big. I still am getting used to having a jam plug there. I think because of the firmness too, it means that on dribbles and certain things, I don't have as smooth of a look as I liked from my previous skates because I could move a little bit differently and it just has a different look. Also, this just still kind of gets in the way on certain moves. So I do know that the plate has been a huge difference. I noticed that right away. Less wear and tear on the joints, just more smooth movement. better edges. You know, I can feel everything better. I can work with less effort with these comparatively to a softer boot or just a less quality boot and plate. They're pretty easy to wash. I have skinned some of this, you know, just water. You can use water and wash off the dirt pretty easily. There is a decent amount of padding in these in comparison to the last skates I had, especially like in the arch. You can really feel that your foot is being hugged in all directions. When I asked Riedell about the sizing and how they're too big, they did offer for 2 different options that I could add padding in the ankle area and a heel padding for $80 each. So I think it was going to be around $160. And because I already spent a lot on these skates, I just couldn't afford to do that yet. Maybe I'll do that at some point in the future if I don't just get eventually a new skate that's the right size. I find the vegan leather is wearing well enough so far. I mean, I don't really know the difference, but that was a really back and forth decision for me. I wanted a skate that lasted, but I haven't worn leather in so many years, probably 20 years or something. So I just ended up deciding on this for my own head, but I can't really say how much better that stacks up against leather or for how long. It seems so far like it's doing well, and it's been about 8 months or so of skating pretty much every day in all different types of weather, traveling a bunch, so they've been in suitcases and all over the place. With this plate, the Arius plate, there is something to note. These 2 screws here that you take out to change the cushions, I have found that it can be quite difficult to get them back in when you change the cushions. I've tried all different types of things, but it just takes so long sometimes. So I try to do that as little as possible. I also have been told and seen firsthand that these can come loose. People have told me tricks about what you can kind of put in there to keep it locked in, but I do check them pretty regularly to make sure they're not loosening, and because I've seen people's whole axle fall off while they're skating because they didn't check that. So just making sure to check that those are tight pretty often. And I guess last thing, Riedell hasn't been the best at communication, but Skate Rats, who I bought the skates from, has been very good. So they have sort of been the middleman whenever I had any issues with either ordering or the sizing or all that type of stuff. Skate Rats has really been so helpful to me in being a middleman in that way. So I think it's kind of hit or miss. Like in the past, I've written Riedell for other things, and it just depends on who's responding. But when it came to more detailed questions about the boot and stuff like that, it was a little bit harder to get them to respond. So it's good to have a skate shop helping you out with that part, I think. At least that was my experience. If you have any questions about the 3200s, I know it can be such a long process to decide, and it's such a big investment. Please feel free to ask me any questions about them. I'm still just finding my way with them, and I do take care of them like they're my babies, you know, so just let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Bye.